Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm Katie. I own Baxter Craft Co. I make small crafts and mostly candles, and I run my shop out of Etsy. So that's what I'm actually going to be talking about today is mistakes that I made when opening my Etsy shop and how you can avoid them. Now, these aren't necessarily candle business specific. It's more of like a general what I would do differently if I had to open my shop again. But I will be talking about that in the context of candles because that is what I mostly sell. So, number one mistake that I made was not researching the market that I was selling in. So like I said, I sell mostly candles, a couple of other small crafts, but mostly soy candles. And it really is kind of an oversaturated market. So I really didn't look into, what I wanted to do, what would make me different than anything out there. And I really think I had to play catch up after I opened my shop and figure out, how to set myself apart. I knew that I wanted to sell soy candles, and that they were, the best option for candles, and that I really felt like I could make a good product. But like I said, I really didn't look into like what people are selling them for, like how to brand them or anything like that. So number two, I did too much way too fast. When I opened my shop, I had, I think, 6 scents in one size, and immediately I was thinking about new scents to add and new sizes to add and new other crafts that I could make and sell. So I really was rushing and not understanding or not realizing, all of the work that was going to go into these other things. And I really had to sit down and think about, what is the best option for me for my shop? Is this thing going to sell? I don't know. I've never looked into it. So I really had to sit down and kind of plan out several months in advance, after I opened my shop, which I should have done before I opened my shop, holidays that are coming up or new scents that I'm thinking about adding. And I really was kind of behind the 8 ball in that kind of thing. So just make sure that you have everything planned out. I start with this and then I'm going to do that and then I'm going to do the next thing, and not just, laying in bed at 2 a.m. thinking about all the things that you could be doing. So number three was not having any backups in place. And what I mean by this is not making sure that when I order my products, I order, the raw products that I make into, specifically in this case, candles, that I was only getting them from like one source. So when COVID hit, shipping times were really delayed and things were getting sold out because people were buying them all up so that they could have them. And I actually ran into an instance where some of my orders shipping out were delayed because I was out of something. So in order to avoid that, you really need a second and maybe even a third place that you've researched and you've looked into, and you make sure that it's the quality that you want and need, and that it'll be here on time, for all of your materials. So for my candle business specifically, that means jars, wax, wicks, fragrance oil, labels, and then as a general, small business, micro business, shipping stuff, packaging, materials, packing tape, everything. And really make sure that you have, if not stockpiled as much as you can, definitely a second or even a third source where you can get that from. I've done that before. It's, caused a lot of headaches, a lot of heartache, and a lot of money spent for expedited shipping because, I ran out of something and I needed it immediately. So keeping a second or third option to source your materials from is something that I highly recommend. So this is probably the thing that I struggle with the most, is comparing myself to other shops. Don't do it. When you start out, you're this small, you have to build your audience, you have to build your followership and customer base. You can't compare yourself to these other shops that have been open for months or even years, and they have, thousands of sales and hundreds of reviews. And you look at them and think, well, I bet you my stuff is just as good or better than theirs. Why is mine not selling? And it really is about taking the time, building up your customer base, and just working at it to build up those sales numbers. It can seem really discouraging at first, but it's gonna work out. So those are just some things that I think that I could have done better when I opened my Etsy shop. And I hope these helped you, realize things or inspired you to open your Etsy shop or other, Shopify, selling on Amazon, selling at farmers markets, anything. I hope you found these tips helpful, and let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me discuss this topic more. I can really go into kind of specific things that I think I did wrong and how I fixed them. I'm sure there's like a million other things that I haven't even thought of that I did wrong and I'm doing wrong. So, let's start a conversation in the comments. And make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok for behind the scenes and announcements. And make sure you like this video and give me a follow on here so you can get more content just like this. So I hope to see you guys soon, and have a great day. Bye.